I am so excited to be back with you all. I don't know if you remember, but I'm Takesha Michelle. Just in case you forgot. So, last time you saw me, I was with Leo, and Leo and I had to do this whole back and forth to figure out how we were going to introduce ourselves. So, we would be Takesha and Leo. But as you see, Leo's not here with us today, but that's okay. He'll be back with us next time. But today I get to sit in with the most wonderful, wonderful chiropractor. Golly, I don't even know. Have I been hanging out with you for what, about 5, 7 years?
About
something like that.
6, 7.
Has it really been that
long? I think so.
Oh my goodness! But y'all see, like all the things are wonderful.
Beautiful posture, by the way.
Thank you. Listen, y'all, I am excited to introduce to you Dr. Ada. Y'all, Dr. Ada is going to be with us for our health and nutrition segment here on Parent Empowerment for Everyday Living. And she is going to be sharing some fantastic information that is just going to help better pull together the information that we are going to be sharing with you twice a month. We're going to y'all are going to be so stinking brilliant and healthy.
Yes.
Listen, if y'all just abide by what it is that we tell you, everything's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right. Get excited about it. So again, I am Takesha Michelle of Education Inside Out. And Education Inside Out, we are here to help parents help their children. We're focused on the children. The children are like the most important. But how do we ensure the success of children if we do not provide empowerment to the parents that are raising them, right? So I'm going to listen. Besides Education Inside Out, we also are partnering with Dr. Ada and Innate Health. Dr. Ada, will you tell us a little bit about who you are, about your practice and all that you do?
Yes. So I've been a chiropractor now 10 years, my 10th year. We've been operating as Innate Health Family Chiropractic and Wellness. This is our 8th year.
Wow.
And yes, so exciting. Originally, I was a sports chiropractor. I wanted to be working with every athlete. My background is in nutrition and biomechanics, so I literally watch people for a living. But to be honest, I got really tired of working with these adult athletes who the patterns that they've developed over these years, both eating and physical, it was just already ingrained. We could not break the cycle. So I had this brilliant idea to backtrack and work with families, work with kids. And so I took additional courses, and now I'm a specialist in pediatrics, maternity, and then all things kids and families. So I'm bringing my knowledge from the sports and biomechanics, nutritional world to families, and I'm just here to give you all some tools and some guidance on how best to navigate this world we're in.
Oh my goodness. I told you, you're going to be so stinking informed by the time I don't even know what finish looks like.
There's never an end.
There's not an end. It's just always. Listen, I said about 5, 7 years. I don't even know where, but my life has changed so much. Yeah. And I think I'm still cute.
Very cute.
All because of Dr. Ada.
And the best posture.
I love it. I love it. Listen, y'all, we're going to get started because this is called Less Stress, More Control, Parent Empowerment for Everyday Living. So we're going to be sharing so much with you. And today, the first thing I want to do, because it's time to go back to school.
Yes, believe it or not.
It is time to go back to school. We're halfway through July almost already. So the theme for today is let's get it started. Let's get it started. Hey. So we're going to begin with the end in mind, okay? So I want to get started talking to you about me. Y'all, I think I'm relatively wonderful. I mean, I don't know what you think, but listen, it's not all because of me. It's really because of my mom. Let me tell y'all. We started summer. We knew what summer was when we get out of school. For us, the bus would take us to school to get our report cards and then send us back home. We never actually got off the bus. We would go to school on the bus. They give us our report card and the teacher has packed up all of our stuff all of our papers and everything. And then when I started walking to school because the bus, it was too close, you show up, they hand you your stuff, and be like, have a great summer. That was our end of, and then we go home with all of these papers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there just be papers. And then you play school with those papers for a little while because you really weren't out of it yet. For us, we really weren't out of the school thing yet. So we play school or whatever that looked like.
Yeah.
And then you sleep and you sleep. And then you get me watch TV.
Yeah.
Then you sleep. And if you were fancy, and eventually we got fancy enough that we had what we call cable, like Spectrum or something like that. But it was still cartoons. It didn't matter because cartoons were on the UHF station.
Oh,
the channel on the back.
Yes.
So we had that. And then I don't know if you had a friend, we had a neighbor that we're trying to watch cartoons. We're chilling in underoos or t-shirt and so, whatever that looked like back then. And then here comes somebody knocking on the door in the morning. We were like, what's up? Can you come outside? Oh yeah, can you come outside? What? Like I'm wrapped in a sheet right now because I had to come to the door.
I was that friend.
You were that friend?
I was that friend because we didn't have cable. And, after Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie was so cool.
Yeah. After it was time to go play.
Okay, I'll take it. But she was our cue.
Yes.
To get out the house.
Yes.
Because going outside, that was the thing. The be all to end all.
Man.
And so we did that. That was summer.
That was summer for us.
That was it. We did, and then of course there's lots of eating, and I'm gonna double back to what that eating looked like. It was a
story about that too.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go ahead and share. Go ahead, tell me about the eating.
So I hate to say this, but the hustle game in our family started real young. So my mom, she would, buy all the snacks, the little juices, the stuff to make sandwiches, the bags of chips. And so my sister and I had a bright idea. Since our house, we had a big backyard, big front yard, all the kids would come to our house because we would knock on the door and say, you want to come play? Well, guess what? Come to our house and play. And then my sister and I had the idea, why don't we start selling them food? Because we wanted money to go buy toys. So we would literally wake up early, make sandwiches, and bag the chips, and the kids would come to our house and buy our food. Well, one day Mom came home early because she couldn't figure out why we were eating.
Well, all the food
was gone. And she saw these kids leaving her home with brown bags of food.
You had brown bags too.
Brown bags.
Y'all had the lunch sacks too?
And this was like 9, 10 years old. So needless to say, our summers got cut in half because then we had to go work for my dad because then he realized.
Y'all got this. Okay.
So yes.
Listen, I'm going to tell you. So my story is similar-ish because my mommy would go shopping because there were 4 of us. So I don't know about y'all, but our carts were like flowing over when we would come from the grocery store. And we all knew this was yours. For me, it was strawberry yogurt. Don't touch the strawberry. Those were mine.
Mine was cherry.
Okay. And there was another one who cherry. Somebody else had what do you call blueberry, raspberry. So everybody had their flavor. Mommy made sure, don't get mixtures of flavors because, I'm sorry. I started strawberry and then I elevated to strawberry banana.
Yeah.
So, but nevertheless, we had all of this food. And so as I got older, I figured out how to use the grill. So we had this little Weber grill that sat on the porch because our house was that house too. Everybody came to our house because we had the front yard. Everybody had it, but it was like, why? It's a bunch of kids over there.
Yeah.
So they came. So I'm grilling hot dogs and junk for the neighborhood. My mommy got 4 kids, but I'm cooking food for the neighborhood. My mom was like, look here. This is gonna stop. We will not be doing this. I was like, okay. I mean, I thought I'm the big sister.
Me too.
So that's all I was supposed to do. But you start making money. I'm just being
look, bring that $3.
We got you. Listen, I should have thought that far. I didn't. So anyway, but that was summer, right? Playing football and baseball and kickball, riding bikes. Yes. All of those things, going and taking apples off other people's trees. But anyway, that was summer for us. But then there was this transitional time when my mommy started talking about when, what school we were going to, if we were going to take a bus, if we were going to, it was like, it's like all of a sudden, I can't tell you when the date was. I just know that the conversation switched. She was no longer just coming in and fussing about if we didn't clean something or if something was a mess or whatever. She started talking about the school bus.
Prepping for school.
Right. And so then we're like, okay. So the mind, we start shifting a little bit. And then now we're shopping for school clothes and school supplies, but we can't wear them.
No, don't you dare.
You can't wear them. You started smelling them and looking at them and imagining.
Matching the different outfit combos.
Right, yeah. All of those things. So
the shoes, right? The new shoes.
The new shoes. Like you couldn't wait to put your new shoes on. So all of this is happening. This is the transition time, right? Now, I can't tell you that she talked about anything about sitting down doing homework. I can't tell you that. Now, did she make us read a lot? Oh my God, yes. That woman made us read so much. I begged for a nap time. Do you understand me? I begged for a nap time, but she didn't see fit. So we always had reading foundations, always. Workbooks, SRA. I don't know if y'all know what SRA is, but my goodness, that woman made sure that we read. Now, school would start. That woman watched plenty of soap operas.
My mom did too when she came home.
She was on the phone all the time and she slept a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? I remember, is that homework done? I remember hearing that ring through the house. Is that homework done?
And scrambling.
Right. So you just, oh God. Because I think we did homework only in our bedroom. I don't think we had like an identified space.
Yeah.
Because the kitchen was the kitchen, but it wasn't, it wasn't set. It wasn't a workspace. It was food prep.
Yeah.
4 of us. Remember,
we had a dining room table, so we did our homework at the dining room table. So when my mom was cooking, she could see. But luckily, my sister and I were pretty studious, and so we didn't have that whole. Is the homework done? It was, believe me, it was done way before she even thought about it. We were studious like that, but it was the prep work, the mindset that mom started preparing us for.
All of that, and so see, we got a dining room table eventually. We had a record player. Hey. We had a record player and a buffet, but you can't stand at the buffet and do your homework. So you did it in your bedroom. But eventually we did get a dining room table. And that's when my math started. 3rd grade, they were like, so about this math thing. But guess what? Guess who couldn't do math either? My mommy. Guess who still can't do math now? Me or my mommy. But she made my brother help me.
There you go.
And I didn't like him helping me because he was younger and he would be like, oh, this is so easy. Why can't you
Made you feel some kind of way.
Yes. But she was still, she was still laying those foundations, right? So I was really excited about all of the things that, she did for us. And no matter that she watched the TV, no matter that she, was on the phone and junk like that, she still made sure that we had done the things that we needed to get done. Absolutely. So what I want to do is I can go on and on about how Summer went and how she prepped for us. But what I want to ask you is if you haven't done it, if you haven't done it before, right? If you haven't done it before, what will you do now? Okay, to prepare, to lay the foundations. Because my mom and I can read. We did work. She yelled to make sure it was done. That was her. She didn't check our work, but she was consistent in making sure that it was done, right? So I do know some parents like that who do it that way. But like you said, she had already laid the foundation. We could read.
The expectation.
Right. Yeah. Didn't matter. We could read. So if we could read, we could do anything else. And that was her belief. That was the foundation. She'd given us the workbooks and all of that kind of stuff. And we played school and we gotten it done. So she had laid the foundation. What are you doing or have you done to lay the foundation?
That's so good.
For your kids? Because even though she didn't do it for homework in the summer and on the weekends, man, if we didn't finish those SRA cards or what was in those workbooks, we take a nap, go outside. What? No, it wasn't happening. So the way she did it appeared a bit different. But again, you heard me say when we went shopping, it was yogurt and fruit and we had the occasional snacks, but it was healthy choices.
Healthy, yeah.
Right? So if we wanted snacks, we had to go and find money in mommy's purse to go to the corner store.
Hence the reason why I made the sack lunches so I could get the money to
So
buy.
you could get, yeah. Because what she got, I gave to the corner store, and that's how we got snacks. But she didn't. That was another thing she did. That was another foundation she laid.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, or what will you do? Right, we're getting started.
Mhm.
What will you do to lay those foundations? Or maybe you've already done it. How are you going to enhance it?
And maintain it.
Right, all of those things. So we're relatively healthy, I think. I think we all kind of made it out all right.
Yeah, I came out all right.
I think so. I think so. Dr. Ada, so I talked about healthy choices,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if parents are laying foundations, right now, because school will be starting soon,
Yeah.
what are some things that maybe they can do, that they need to do, that are going to help them as they continue to push forward, or even just lay a foundation? Maybe they haven't started, maybe they have. Give us some tips. What do you think?
I'm so glad you brought this up, because I didn't even think about, oh my goodness, she did start prepping for us late July. My mom started changing some of the foods that we ate, right? A more healthier, more balanced foods, so that making that transition from summer to now school, it was smooth. I didn't, I just never thought of that. So thank you for bringing this idea and this thought process to us parents, because um, some of us don't even think about that. Now, when it comes to foods, and one of the things that I'm going to start encouraging parents here is, you as a parent have to change first. It is really difficult to say, hey, do as I say, not as I do. Our kids they're way too observant. I've got a 2-year-old and some change who's going on 13, and she's already asking, well, mommy, what is this? And why? She's watching our every move. And some of you guys have 9, 10 teenagers. And so what you do, not just what you say, matters. So some of you guys need to change what you eat. Start working on yourself now, right?
Dun, 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 dun.
Right? Start eating the banana for breakfast, right? Or for your snack, or that apple. Whatever you want to introduce to your child, you make sure that you eat that first, right? Know what it tastes like, know how to prep for it. Start working on yourself first. And then for lunch, introduce it. For dinner, introduce it in steps, right? So that as a family, you guys are now transitioning to more summertime fun foods, into more sustainable foods, more healthier foods for school time. It starts with you parents. And if you don't make that change, it's almost impossible to help improve your child's health. It really is. But work on yourself first. So yeah, as a parent, instead of that granola bar or whatever for a snack, pick a fruit, grapes, something that you know is a lot more nutritious. Build that in yourself. That way you have the confidence to say, hey, Johnny, hey, Lisa, this is what you're going to eat. And they're looking at you, but mommy, you don't eat it. Yes, I do. And I like it. And so will you.
That's good stuff. So listen, I talked about my mom. We went shopping, healthy choices, but mommy always had a Pepsi. Always. Can I tell you? And if we were thirsty, if we got tired of milk or juice, we'd sneak mommy's Pepsi. And she, of course, knew. Yeah, we think we're just taking a sip. We thought we were taking, drank my Pepsi. That's how serious Pepsi was to my mommy.
Household, yeah.
Right? But then she did. She evolved, and she began to drink this guava juice or something. I don't remember, but juice.
Juice.
Okay,
yeah. Juice was big in our house.
Yeah, so she went from Pepsi to juice.
Juice, yeah.
So that was helpful, right? We still were drinking her juice. Don't worry, and we still got fussed. Remember, there are 4 of us.
Let me tell you, my mom bought the gallons of juice. We thought we were slick and put water in it to get it back up, so she couldn't tell how much juice we were drinking until we got caught.
Right.
You know, moms, we know everything.
Right.
We know before you're going to do it that you're going to do it.
Right.
So she just sat there patiently and was like, okay.
Right. Because the mom, if you're paying attention, right? If you're paying attention, and this is, again, parent empowerment for everyday living. My mom, I thought she was too sleepy, right? Because she'd take naps soap operas, TV, whatever, like Dynasty and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, I remember.
That was my mom.
Mhm.
And she's on the phone all the time, and so I'm thinking, she
No,
she know,
she knew.
man, that lady who drank my where is the blah blah? Why is all of this? So she was attentive. She was paying attention.
She was doing her own thing.
Right.
But mom in tune moms, right? Moms that pay
Right.
attention, moms that are making sure that their children's well-being is one of their number one priorities. They
Right.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that it's not yours, but oftentimes we get stuck in a space, right? And we start focusing. Moms have issues, right? So let me go ahead and just share with you. I started with at the beginning, we're starting with beginning with the end in mind, right? You were supposed to decide now, right? How the school year was going to look. What is your expected outcome? But now what I want to say to you is we got to think about what happened last year.
Yeah.
Right? We want to think about what happened last year. So again, like I said, Education Inside Out, we're all about the child, right? All about the child. And how do we help the child? We help the child through empowering the parents, right? Yeah. And so what I want you all to do is I want you to think about what happened last year. There are times when I received frequent phone calls about my son's behavior when he was in school, right? Whatever the daily problem was, I didn't know what to do. And neither did I know, how to deal with it, who to turn to. I'm a young mom, right? I was really young mom. So I didn't know what to do with all of the things that she was telling me. But we have a tendency to take on everything that every call that the teacher makes. We have a tendency to just take it and hold it as a burden that we cannot overcome. And oftentimes that keeps us away. Yeah. Have you ever thought that just because a situation looks really bad right now means that it's going to always look that way? So, you don't know, but now you know. I have two children, right? My son and my daughter. My son's the oldest. My daughter's the youngest. If you ask her, she says she's the favorite. And if you talk to him about it, he's willing to agree. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I have a favorite son and I have a favorite daughter. I just need for y'all to deal with that. But with that, each of them, I'm going to tell you all will hear about both of them over this time because I grew up teaching them, right? My son, I was a teen mom. So I grew up having to figure out a lot of things, right? How to be a teenager, how to be an adult human while trying to teach him.
Raise a baby.
Right. But I'm also the big sister. So, like I said before, so why would I not take care of my son at least as well as I took care of my siblings, right? Yeah. Why would I not care for and defend him at least as well as I did, my siblings, right? Yeah. So I remember when he was in kindergarten. Today's story is about my son. My daughter thinks they should all be about her, but I remember when my son was in kindergarten, and I'm telling you, it wasn't until I began to prepare for this that I thought, wait a minute, he spent a lot of time in my classroom. I had a beanbag in the back of my room, and he was in my room most frequently, right?
Really?
Yeah. So that was his first year away from family. We didn't live near family. And so, he's going to school. He's in kindergarten. I teach upstairs. We're at the same school. And every time something happened, the teacher would bring him to me. So he spent half his kindergarten year in back of my classroom just listening to me teach or fuss at other kids. What grade
were you teaching?
I was teaching second grade.
Second grade. Okay.
Yes. And so that was his kindergarten year.
In second grade.
In the second grade, sleep. So then came first grade, and I didn't understand that the teacher was always calling me and telling me all these things about my child, that maybe he had ADHD and all this. And I was like, oh my, I'm still a young mom, right? And I'm like, oh my God, what?
What did I do? What's going on?
And it wasn't until I teach these things all the time. I put it together finally. He didn't even actually have kindergarten. He was never structured to stay. He was always sent out, right?
Yeah.
Go back to your mom. That's how they did him. Now, I loved his teacher. She was great people and all that kind of stuff, but that wasn't beneficial. The process to improve his behavior was not a proper process. So then in first grade, now I got to deal with some things because this teacher is telling me that there's all these things wrong with my child, is how she was presenting it. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Yeah. So my mom was my advocate, praise God. So I was able to turn to her, and she went to the meetings with me, kind of like what we do at Education Inside Out. A parent advocate goes with you. So she did that. She went with me to these meetings, or not, sorry. Yeah, she had moved there. So on the phone, whatever. She was a part of the conversation, a part of the process. So we switched him schools. I switched him schools. And now I'm developing a relationship with the teacher. The teacher was open to it, right? I didn't even know that was a thing.
That's key.
So when I talk to y'all about all of the things that work, I'm not making it up. I have experienced the things that I'm telling you about. I had a relationship with her.
Yeah.
We worked together on how to improve school for him,
for your child.
How to keep him focused without pharmaceuticals. Right?
Ding, ding, ding.
Right? How to keep him focused without pharmaceuticals. And we did it. And then into the next year, I'm in school. I'm always at the school. I didn't teach at his school now because I had to switch up the game because I cannot have you sleeping in the back of my class all the time. So I got to figure out how to make this thing work for my child. I got to be on the team. The next year I'm there. I'm talking to his next teacher. And she's like, well, we're older and we don't need it. Well, we need to do these things. And she figured out, oh, I should probably talk to his mom. And we worked out a plan. That is how that together, right? That was what was imperative. I learned some nutritional stuff. I didn't have a Dr. Ada. I wish I'd have had a Dr. Ada long before I met her, because the things I did learn, I learned them a little bit later, but I was able to apply some of the strategies that they taught me a little bit later down the line, but I was in the game. Yeah. I was always trying to learn. Excuse me. I was always listening, always trying to find out the best move for my child. I was on the team.
You created a team.
Right. Yeah. Right. I created it and I played on it all the time. So parents, I want you to, these things happen. So acknowledge the struggle. Yeah. Understand me. Acknowledge the struggle. It's okay. But make a plan for ways to overcome so that you can be, and I want you to be an active member so that you can be an active member and a supportive member of the team. Because it's not just the teachers. You can be mad all day long. I don't like her. She don't like my child. Be mad if you want to. If you are not on the team, it is not going to get better because your child recognizes the separation. Yeah. We need to all be working together to help improve your child, which is why Dr. Ada's here. Yeah. Because that health and nutrition piece, like I'm telling y'all, it was imperative. And I can't wait for y'all to hear some of the things that she's going to share with you as we press forward. Dr. Ada, do you have anything to slide into this space?
Yes. Listening to your story as a new mom myself, subconsciously, but then also talking to a lot of moms on how to navigate this, we say school, but she's in daycare, but creating that connection with the teachers. I drop her off every day and I make a point to save, at least 5 minutes to talk to the teachers about what happened yesterday or what happened last week. Now, did she eat all her food? I know they give us a report, but what were the things she didn't eat? What was her behavior like? What was her sleep like? So that I can mimic or get some tools from them to apply at home so that what's happening at school is also happening at home and vice versa. And let me tell you, when you make that connection with the teachers or the person at the front desk or whomever, it's almost like they take care of your child just that much better because they know you're involved. They know if something goes wrong, you're going to come right to them. So they stay on top of your child. They want to make sure, oh shoot, I know her mom is holding me accountable. I need to make sure I pay attention to these things.
Mhm.
And I see the difference. They're reporting to me what's happening with her before I even have to ask, because
Right.
we've created that relationship.
Mhm.
And so I'm learning everything that you just said. I'm learning at her 2-year-old self. That way, when she gets older, I'm practicing it even more, because you want everyone on the same page when it comes to your child. And these
Absolutely.
teachers want, oh my God, you have no idea. They want these parents to be involved, because I see the difference. I see the parents
Absolutely.
that drop their kids off and then they're gone, right? And their kid is like crying profusely when we go to pick up the baby. Their kid is still crying because there's not a all day. And you have to create that relationship. Right now, we're going through some food things at the school. Of course, they don't really prepare, I think, the best foods for the kiddos. And so I'm constantly talking to the teachers about, okay, how can we navigate this? Because we eat very different at home than they do at school. And it's now to the point where I think I'm gonna have to start bringing a sack lunch.
Yep.
And so talking to the teachers about what's happening will help you. To also piggyback on the behavioral things, I got stopped by a parent leaving. She says, "You're the chiropractor." I said, "Yes." She said, "My child, it's you. My child's having a hard time eating fruits and vegetables. Is there anything I can do?" I said, 9 times out of 10, especially if you were wanting to proactively change your diet before school starts, I have so many kids who don't like fruits and vegetables. They want to eat rice. They want to eat sandwiches, breads. They don't want to eat food. 9 times out of 10, our kids are too toxic to even enjoy. I know I said the T word.
Toxic kids? What?
Toxic. Our kids are toxic. The food
literally, y'all.
Literally
toxic.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about probably in the next couple of videos how to recognize toxicity in your children and how to address it before it gets to the point where they're going to want to recommend medication. With that being said, there are things you can do that are very easy, very inexpensive to help detoxify your children so that you can introduce new foods and not get such a pushback. Because I can already tell most of you guys are going to be like, I've already tried that and it doesn't work. Well, it's not going to work if your kids haven't developed the taste buds for nutritious foods.
Develop taste buds? What? Kids have to develop taste buds? What? She is, I told y'all she was wonderful. I don't know why she's talking about this. I'm going to need you to elaborate, Dr. Ada, please. So, because I told the people you were wonderful. Please help. Please help.
I'll give you an example. Just like Takesha Michelle, I'm going to use my daughter as an example because that's all I know. She doesn't like junk food per se. Like if you give it to her, 9 times out of 10, she'll try it and she won't like it, thankfully. But we started from day one. Snacks are not chips and Snacks are fruits and vegetables.
That's it.
Right? So a snack will be string beans, like just a thing of string beans.
Okay.
Cooked warm string beans. People are like, that's not a snack. Yeah, it is.
For mine, it is.
Yeah, that's your snack. Or pistachios. Your 2-year-old eats pistachios? Yeah. Starting at a younger age, but guess what? That's what we eat. So as parents, if you're expecting your child to eat better, you have to eat better, right? Now, we're not 100%, right? We've gone through drive-throughs sometimes when we're traveling, things like that, or we'll bring slightly junkier snacks like potato chips, right?
With less fat.
Less fat, yeah.
With sea salt.
With sea salt, yes. Because mama loves Lay's potato chips, right? But the alternative, the Cape Cod with the sea salt, right? It's comparable,
right?
But you've got to start with you, right? And so I know this word's going to be very difficult for people to even quantify, but play it back because I don't know how to spell it. But it's called diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth, the food grade. You can get that from our local nutrition stores. There's Lovey's and we're not getting paid for this, by the way. There's Lovey's and Tattle Creek.
Not yet.
Not yet. Right? Not yet. But diatomaceous earth. Google ways to take diatomaceous earth nutritiously. And what that does, that actually helps break the taste buds for all things not so good because it helps calm down parasites. Woo!
That's a whole nother, that's a whole video all by itself.
Whole video. That will definitely be down the road, but sooner than you think. Because in order to get your kids to do better, we got to be better, right? And so we're definitely going to give you guys some tools to help improve the way your child actually tastes food so that they do crave more nutritious foods. Because I'm just gonna let you know right now, making the change from frozen pizza, not saying that everyone does, but frozen pizza to now here's some grapes and some kiwi, your kids are going to be like, Mom, I don't like this, because they haven't developed the taste for it.
Right.
Their bodies crave it, but they don't know that that taste is associated with that level of nutrition. So there are ways to break that habit. We just have to do it in a safe way, but there's really inexpensive ways to help improve your child's taste buds. So making that transition to healthier foods is a lot more attainable.
I love it. That just made me think so many things. You just made my brain just go bloop, 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 bloop.
I know.
When I think about even music, like teaching a child music, and I don't like jazz music. How you know? Like you never had it before.
Yeah.
Right? You've never sat through a concert, and then it's like all of a sudden, oh,
I do like that.
Yeah, like what's up?
Some kids have never even been introduced to fruits because mom and dad, you guys don't eat fruits.
Because your mom and daddy or whomever your caretaker was
didn't
it. Right.
Yeah.
And y'all, we got to go back. Like I said, I didn't even realize it till I was preparing for this, why there was that problem for my son from kindergarten to first grade. It didn't even dawn on me. I don't have the thought. My children are like, they're older. Okay. Yeah. Just deal with that. They're older. They're full out adults living their own lives. So I had to think back to, I'm 6. Well, no, I'm not even, am I 20 yet? I think maybe I'm 20 yet, about that time when these things began to happen. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I was about 22 when all that was happening. So I was like, wait, what? I never put together that because of this, then that, all things work together, right? All things, the Bible talks about all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. But all things work together.
Truly.
And as Dr. Harney says, all means all. He didn't have all of his kindergarten time because it was partially spent in the back of my classroom asleep. So now you want him to do first grade as a standard first grader? The foundation wasn't there. You want your children to eat healthily? And I'm going to say this, and I don't know if I want to say forgive me, but this is the best example I have. We're going to start wrapping up. Just think about all the things you just said about parents needing to start first. My foundation is straight. It's all fruits and vegetables and yogurts and all these types of things, even though some of the stuff that I thought was healthy, Dr. Ada has told me it really wasn't. But that's okay. My mommy was trying. She did the best she could with what she knew how.
Our parents always do the best that they can, right?
Always. And so do you. So that's why I want to point this out to you. If you, and I say forgive me because I'm not trying to come for you. I just want you to be aware of this. If you know that you, and even me, like the whole being borderline obese and such, your body type, and you have all kinds of health conditions and such, why would you feed your child the exact same way you eat? Consider that. If you are having struggles as a young adult or an adult, depending upon how, your age, in reference to your child, if you are struggling, what do you think is going to happen
to your child?
Right.
To piggyback on that, I had to help change this narrative that it's genetic. There's a genetic predisposition, but most people don't understand that you have the ability to change the way your genes are expressed based on the environment that you introduce them to, right? Like your genes can turn off and on. Now there's certain genes that won't turn off, right? So it's your eye color, right? Your overall skin tone. So there's some absolutes, right? But for the most part, and this is how amazing God created us, depending on your environment, this is called adaptation. Your body's going to have to adapt to that environment. So if you're feeding yourself healthy foods, by default, your body will be healthy, right? But if you're not feeding your body the most healthier foods, guess what's going to happen? Sickness and disease. Right. So, I try not to come for the parents, but I also want to say, hey, if your child is XYZ, well, what did you teach them? Right. What was on the table? Right. Because 9 times out of 10, the way you do things was taught by your parents, which was taught by their parents, which was taught by their parents. Yeah. And so breaking that generational playbook is super important. Now, on the adverse side, we also know how unfortunately influential the outside world is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? And so as a parent, it is so imperative that you recognize that and know, hey, I know if my child leaves here, the chances of them doing XYZ out there is high, but making sure that the standard is set in the home.
Absolutely.
So that when they leave, they're like, the consequences of doing XYZ versus ABC is high. I now have a choice. And I have one last story. My daughter had never had cupcakes ever. And I remember her first like party, holiday party, and they were going to be decorating cookies. And I'm like, oh dear Lord. So I came and I brought my grapes because that's what I said I was going to bring. And they, of course, cut them up. And so they had the cookie decorating contest with the icing and the red sprinkles and the red dye, right? And the green, right? Because it was Christmas time. And I was like, okay, this is a test. Maybe wasn't quite 2 yet, but this is a test. So they put the cookies out there and they had the icing and the sprinkles. And guess who did not even want their cookie?
Yay!
Fish, yes.
I would hate the cookie, by the way.
She didn't want it. She didn't want it. Eventually, she did, but she didn't want anything to do with the icing or anything because we just never introduced it. She didn't know what it was. She saw the other kids doing it. Some kids were tasting it for the first time. We had one kid that was squeezing it into his mouth. So you already know. And mom was kind of like, "Oh my gosh, why are you doing that? Because you do it at home.
Because you did. That's right.
You did it at home.
That's right.
Right. So just know that what you do in the home will translate to what happens in the outside world.
Absolutely. I am on that team. That was me and now I love my son's grandparents, something wonderful, right?
Yes.
But we've had that grandparent conversation.
We're going to talk about that too.
Because and I have, oh my gosh. Anyway, there's so much to say because my son didn't eat meat growing up. I didn't feed him meat at all.
Really? By choice or
by choice? Well, because we started off with no pork. And then so no pork from my stepfather, it was no pork. And then so it just grew into just no meat, just forget it, no meat. And so, because I didn't want him sick or anything like that, forget it, no meat. So he got like cheese sandwiches and junk from McDonald's. But then he went and visited his grandparents. And that all changed. And I come to find out, of course, they did not tell me. Yeah. Right. But he right.
Caretakers.
We love you so much. However, right. Thank you so much. However, so then after a while, I was like, forget it. Just forget it. Like, why am I even playing with this? Because it's just because he went there every, on the weekend. So it was just like, whatever. Yeah. It's just a done deal. It was just a wrap. Forget it. Give him a cheeseburger. Yeah. So it's what happens. But I'll suffice it to say that at Education Inside Out, I am training and certifying parent advocates. And the final training of your certification process is how to advocate for friends and family.
That's big.
Right? Yeah. So you get to learn how. I didn't know that. I didn't have those tools to do that for myself with them, right, during that time. But I know a little bit better now. So that's what we do. So as you've heard us talk today, I love this conversation. And Dr. Ada and I, sometimes my appointments are a little bit long because
I ain't gonna lie, the waiting room, people are like, can they hurry up? I was like, okay.
So now we're going to do this. So we'll get out a lot of these conversations. So, but we want to help you. So you hear. Yeah. Now, and when I talked about going shopping and carts overflowing, my mommy wasn't balling out of control. Understand me when I tell you this. Yeah. This was Aldi before Aldi was a fad. This is food stamps. So that's the world I come from. And my mommy was still
making it happen.
Right. That was what she decided to do.
In a healthy way.
Right. In a healthy way. Right. She was still doing most of the things. We're going to
be doing Shop with the Doc, right?
Oh, girl, yes. Oh, y'all. Oh, listen.
Sorry, I just want to plug that in.
Yeah, we are, because I like the way she labeled it though. Yeah. Shop with the Doc. I love it. Because we did during COVID. I don't know if y'all can go back and look at any video on Education Inside Out. Go all the way back to the beginning, I guess, of 2021.
3 years.
2020.
4 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. We did it. We walked through a store.
Was it Food Lion?
I know, I'm trying to, everybody is not paying us for this, right?
No,
that's okay.
We're not.
We want sponsorships, so that's what we really are. We're dropping stuff. I'm just being ridiculous because as we continue to do this for you, we just, we want people to join us as we in our efforts to help you, right? Right. It's all about that. Join the collaborative. You can donate, you can sponsor, because we've done it. We've already been doing the work. We've been doing it just because we know it's a necessity.
Yeah.
And we want to keep doing the work. We don't want to stop it. Yes, funding is phenomenal, right? We need the funding to continue to do what we do.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep pressing forward though, but Shop With It, that was so stinking cool. There are all kinds of pictures and videos and such on the Education Inside Out Facebook page. And YouTube. I don't know if I dropped it on YouTube way back then. I don't think I was into YouTube like that back then. So you can see it. We're going to revitalize it, and we're fancier now.
Yeah.
We're fancier. We're going to get fancier with funding. So I love it. I love it. I have so enjoyed this conversation, and there is so much more. We can keep talking. I literally just
can.
Yes. She has to work, and I have to go and deal with all of the rest of these things. But keep watching, y'all. We'll be back again really soon, and you will have another video, and you'll have all the ways to contact myself and Dr. Ada. Dr. Ada runs Innate Health. If you need a chiropractor, a nutritionist, right, or a nutritionist, you're going to be able to reach out to her. You want or need a parent advocate, you can go to what is it? eduinsideout.org, and all of that information will be under this video. And you can reach out to Innate Health at
you can give us a call, 910-406-1200. Shoot us an email at ihfcwellness@gmail.com.
Listen, I am so super excited about all that is to come. Again, I am Takesha Michelle. I'm here with Dr. Ada, and we are talking about less stress and more control, parent empowerment for everyday living. We'll look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.